Hello all, and welcome to the video. This is actually my first video on this channel. My friend uploaded twice already, but this is my first, so let's get right into it. If you enjoy, maybe like the video, but it's on you if you do it. I hope you enjoy. Also, if you want to see me play any of the DLCs as well, like the Not a Hero or the banned footage, just let me know in the comments and I'll get a video together. Welcome to Resident Evil Madhouse difficulty, a mode where the enemies are harder, faster, and there's less save points.
Fast as
It's
fuck,
an absolute
boy.
cesspool of regrets and murderous thoughts on a regular playthrough, but for some reason I decided to do it no steroids or stabilizers. I died so many times on this playthrough, so stick around till the end to find out how many times I died, because it was more than I thought it was, to be honest. We start the game as Ethan Winters. He's been sent an email from his wife that went missing 3 years ago telling him to stay away. But Ethan doesn't listen to anybody, that's why he's a G, so off we go to find our wife, I guess. Once we reach the baker's house, we go straight to the fireplace, skipping the videotape, and pull the lever. I make my way downstairs to discover Mia locked away, so I find some bolt cutters nearby and free her, only to find out that she's just as nipped as half the cunts in here. To be honest, Ethan's a better man than me, cause I wouldn't be here for this bitch. She's fucking nuts.
Someplace safe.
Are you gonna tell me what's going on?
After a long and tedious walk through the basement with Mia slightly tweaking out, we finally reach where we're meant to be, only for Mia to lie down again, the stupid bitch. If yous can't tell already, I'm Team Zoe, because Mia is such a liability, and Zoe actively tries to help instead of fucking murder the shit out of us. After we have a look around, Mia manages to disappear again after some loud crashes, but she won't be gone for long. We search all the unlocked rooms, grabbing a couple items along the way until eventually we head back down towards the basement to find Mia crawling up the stairs towards us. But unfortunately for her, she didn't know I knew Brenda, and she taught me the art of fuck around and find out. To get me ass kicked and also cosplaying as Zorro, we finally get a hold of a weapon. We cut Mia down using Harrison the Hatchet and deliver a blow straight through her shoulder, putting this bitch out of commission.
No!
Nah, I'm just kidding, we hate that fucking bitch. We head towards the basement intending to go down, but the phone rings. It's a woman named Zoe and she's attempting to help us. She tells us to head for the attic because there's a way out there, so we put down the phone and make our way down the hallway and discover the bitch is gone. When we reach upstairs, I realised that we needed to find a fuse for the stairs to come down so we could access the attic. Luckily it wasn't far, so I wasted no time in retrieving it, and I got to see this for the first time. I'm pretty sure it happens every time, but I haven't seen it until now. After plugging in the fuse, I make my way towards the attic and bump into, you guessed it, the bitch. Quite frankly, I don't think she appreciated getting the Rick Grimes treatment earlier, so she's back for more, unfortunately. So she's all pissy talking about us hurting her while actively driving a screwdriver through our hand, and that won't do, so we take it out, only to lose our whole hand with it. Which isn't a problem for Ethan, because like I said, he's a motherfucking G. So, as G's do, he picks up his maimed hand and sets off towards the attic to look for an escape. In the attic we find a gun and a bit of ammo, and at this point I was smiling because we were about to get our revenge for the fucking hand that she chopped off, the stupid bitch. So we clear the attic of the little bits of ammo lying around and start the fight with the cunt. This fight isn't really that hard, you just have to keep your distance and keep shooting her. When she starts to get close, back up, gain some healthy distance and start shooting again, and she'll fall eventually. Also, I've found that if you run far enough away, she'll tend to try and cut you off, so you can use that to your advantage as well, you know, just bait her to come through the door or through the wall. But at the same time, if you're not careful, you'll end up running into her trying to do this, so just keep your wits about you. She finally falls and I am overjoyed I don't have to see her for a while now. But, on the other hand, we're now trapped up here until Big Daddy Jack comes and saves us.
Long before time had a name, the first Spinjitzu master created Ninjago.
So after Jack knocks us out, so he gives us a watch and we wake sitting at the baker's table. This is where the real nightmare begins. They try to force feed me like a suffragette on hunger strike, but I wasn't having it. He then tries to feed me a knife, and to be honest, I'd take that all day before I eat this fucking shit. Once I escape, I look around picking up what I can and bump into Jack again. And can I just say, this motherfucker right here was cheating. I don't give a fuck. He was spotting us through walls and shit, the daft cunt. I slip past him, pick up the hatch key and carefully make my way back. I tried to sneak past him again, but he spotted me, so I had to break this motherfucker's ankles. I race to open the hatch with Jack on my heels, but make it in the nick of time. Time to leave, but not before Zoe calls us. She tells us there might be a way out through the main hall and to not lose the codex because you've got to count your steps. Once we leave the safe room, we have an interaction with a cop standing at the window, and he immediately thinks Ethan's a crackhead or a murderer. And to be honest, who can blame him, because Ethan probably looks a little disheveled right now.
Hey, wait. You gotta give me your gun.
Quite frankly, I agree with the cop on this one. I'm not handing anybody in a decrepit ass house a gun.
A fucking pocket knife?
He's here investigating the disappearances of other people the Bakers have murdered. He tells us to meet him in the garage after handing us a knife. But, unfortunately for him, he wasn't the main character, so he immediately gets fucking destroyed. It's a shame as well, cause this motherfucker was actually trying to help us, but wrong place, wrong time, I guess. This fight, it isn't that hard, but with Jack being so fast on this difficulty, it definitely made it a lot more difficult. You barely have any time to run and do what you have to before he's right behind you. All I can say for this fight is, once you have the lockpick, get good distance, book it straight for the car keys, and get in the car as fast as possible.
Let's finish
this is a really cool fight because it shows you how unrelenting Jack is, and it really sets the tone for the game.
No!
I know when I first played this game, I thought this was the end of the fight, but I was fairly surprised when it wasn't. It's one of those fights in a game that have you questioning whether it's dead after killing it a million times already, which I really enjoy fights like that.
This isn't the end, you know?
Do I have your attention, boy? You're about to see some wonderful. Oh, fuck!
After seeing Jack's gift to me, I grab the ox statue, make my way to the locked door, open it, and progress into the next area. Before I have time to do much, Zoe calls me and tells me to find 3 dog's dead hatches to unlock the exit out of the house. We find one straight away by putting the pendulum on the living room clock, but the next 2 aren't going to be easy. The next one needed us upstairs in the entertainment room, and this time it's guarded by Jack. Once we get past him, we claim our prize and head to save. There I was, just minding my own business, and bam! This motherfucker.
Oh yeah!
Hello? Hey, I'm in the wrong Springfield.
After dealing with Jack for the 3rd time, I use all the antique coins I've collected so far and obtain the Scorpion Key.
Yeah, baby!
I open the shortcut to the basement and deal with the 4-legged cunt with extreme prejudice, as he'd already killed me once. I make it to the safe room, save, and then head on down to the basement. It should be noted that I had a look around before going into the basement just for materials and ammo and health and all that stuff. Once making it to the morgue, I picked up some ammo and other things before solving the puzzle and taking out some molded. After taking out the molded, I open up the boiler room section, loot the place, and make my way towards Jack, while dealing with a shit ton of molded. Once I reach Jack, the dog head is in arm's reach, but Jack happens to be telepathic if you didn't already know. He snatches that shit like he's never gonna see it again, and we're forced to fuck him up once again. We make our way around, looting things as we go, and finally start the fight with the triple OG, Jack.
Yeah, did you drink my Mountain Dew? Did you drink my Mountain Dew? Let me smell your breath. Let me smell your breath!
For this fight, it can be difficult. I've never had trouble with it before, but I think the difficulty made such a huge difference on this fight. I died a lot with this fight. This was kind of the first wall I had to jump over, and I did it, but barely. I ended up coming back with some enhanced ammo with the Albert, and I was not aware how powerful it would be. It could literally blow a hole through an elephant. Like, I was fairly surprised by that. There's not a lot to say about this fight. It's fairly basic. I'd say the #1 strategy is be aggressive. Just try to stay in his face while blocking, but still getting damage in, and eventually he'll fall. After witnessing Jack crip walking, I unfortunately have to use the chainsaw to escape and make my way out of the house. I pick up the repair kit and make my way to the trailer where there is a grenade launcher waiting for me and a call with Zoe. She basically praises us for making it this far, and honestly, what did she expect? It's fucking Ethan, he's a G. She also tells us that she and the Bakers have super aids, so they and Mia can't leave the property. Conveniently, the materials to make the cure are lying about the property. All we need to do is find them.
Your mother?
Be careful. They'll be looking for you.
After putting the phone down, I head over to the old house and realized this is my least favorite part of the game, even more so now after going through it on Madhouse difficulty. It's just suffocating. When I finished taking out some bugs, I blew up the statuette blockage and looted what I could. Fortunately as well, this time I'd learned my lesson about saving, because there's been a couple of times that I've had to repeat a lot because I haven't saved, but I remembered this time with fucking prejudice. After I finish shaving, I make my way to the statuette hole, but not before making the burner, which is probably the best weapon for this area, to be honest, because of the swarms. After picking up the statuette, I unfortunately have to speak with Mia.
Blah 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 blah.
Fortunately, Lucas saves us from Bitchatron and we continue onwards. After slipping Lucas a 50 through the fence to keep that bitch, we bump into Marguerite, my second least favourite character, the fucking hag. There's not much to say about this bit, I just looted a bit more while slipping past her to reach the statuette podium. Eventually I make it, match up the statue and go down your mom's hole. Once I get to the other side, I jump down a hole under the house and find the crank, and I don't mean Mia. Before I go back over to the other side, I loot near the crow door and crank up the bridge.
No, ain't no party like a Diddy party.
After being traumatized, I made my way back to the bridge, but this time I was ready. We continue toward where we picked up the second burner part, kill some bitch ass bugs, crank the bridge and obtain the croquet. Before we go over, I go back to the safe room, save, and then make my way to fight the bug bitch, and this took fucking forever, this fight. It was an absolute nightmare, like really. But I will admit, it is a very cool fight, you know, the way she transforms after you beat her once, you know. You think you've got past her and then she just fucking does a spider all of a sudden.
A spider bit you, didn't it? You're gonna turn into one before long.
So, Marge knocks us down a hole, sends bugs after us, and she falls. This isn't the hard part, that's coming very, very soon. Once Marge falls, we're free to proceed through the crow door, stumbling upon a mummified baby and having a phone call with Zoe. We find out Marge has the key / lantern to unlock the next area, so we head back intending to retrieve it, but instead we're met with the bug bitch. So we do the only human thing to do, and shoot her in the ass. Before heading inside the old house, I unlocked the shortcut, sorted out my inventory, and saved at the trailer. Once I head upstairs, I pick up some supplies and get the golden double crate kill. If you get 3 in a row in one playthrough, horny milfs in your area will knock on your door. Anyway, this fight was probably the second hardest fight, I'd say. The first probably being Jack's third fight. That was a fucking nightmare. That took me hours to do. But what makes this fight hard wasn't Marge's attacks, it was the fact that anytime you get decent damage in, she'd run away and shit while hanging on to a wall, or she'd jump through the ceiling and surprise attack you. Like, she was really fast. The only thing I can say for this fight is when she runs away, do your best to follow her if she's shitting, but try to listen closely as she might be trying to sneak up on you, so just keep your wits about you. After unloading everything I have into her, she finally falls, and I was so happy to move on, but of course, that was naive. Once Marge finishes her Spider-Man cosplay, we take a quick look around before heading back to the trailer, while also picking up some items. When I get back to the trailer, I invest my time into unlocking the Magnum, because I had a feeling if I was gonna use it, now would be the time, but I regret this later. The reason being, there was a point a bit later where I could have used the magnum ammo, but I'll let you know when we're there, because it was a piss take. It wasn't even a boss battle either, it was just cracked. We need one last coin and we'll get that right before doing Lucas's fight. For now, we head towards the door we couldn't open before because we didn't have the lantern. Once entering, we make our way through dealing with Evie's spooky shit and reach the false panel in the back room. This is where we find the arm.
Oh god, I guess this is it.
After obtaining the arm, I run past all the molded straight to the exit. Once out, I have a phone call with Zoe waiting.
Come here, boy!
Ethan questions whether they can make a cure, but Zoe shrugs him off and tells him to meet her in the trailer.
I'll be waiting for you in the trailer.
Alright.
So, we head towards the trailer, planning on giving Zoe the biggest dap up in existence, but surprise, she isn't there, and we get a call from the psychopath G, Lucas.
Now where the hell are you? You know, never mind.
He basically tells us he's kidnapped Mia and Zoe, which I only see half a loss there, but unfortunately, we have to save them both. He also tells us to visit the dissection room again. Once reading the note, we make our way down to the basement again and head towards the dissection room, taking out some molded as I go.
Surprise, bitch. I bet you thought you'd seen the last of me.
When we get there, we pick up our last coin and Lucas has us pull a key card out of a dead cop's throat and tries to ambush us with more molded. But I was ready, and I just fired a grenade at them and ran past to safety until they despawned. Once they despawned, I made my way back over to the snake door, unlocked it, and headed up to save.
Here comes Spidey!
Once I saved, I headed up to the main hall and dealt with the molded there. And by dealt with, I mean ran away from, because fuck that. Once we make it to Lucas's room, I loot everything, flip the trophy switch, match up the statuette and obtain the blue key card. I waste no time retrieving the red one, looting Grandma's room and solving the clock puzzle. After obtaining the second key card, we make our way up from the basement and save in the trailer one last time before confronting Lucas. We use our invitation to get into the party, head up the stairs and sit down on one of the comfiest looking chairs I've ever seen. He may be a psycho, but at least he values our comfort, so that's something. He basically just does his whole jigsaw villain speech and says we've got to go through him to get to the serum and save Mia. But Ethan has no problem with that, looking at his track record already. When we're done listening to Lucas shit on, we head through the open door, being cautious with the traps and getting rid of them all. When we move on to the second room, we get rid of all the traps and obtain the second repair kit and some shotgun shells. There's not a lot to say about this area, it's really uneventful. All I'll say is make sure to get rid of all the traps and don't trust any boxes. Once we reach the safety box, I organise my inventory, repair the broken pistol, and have another encounter with Lucas.
Fucking password, right? Why don't you try 0814? No! 0621. No, it's 0514. Oh, come on. Take a chance, you never know.
Once heading through the newly opened door, we loot a bit before fighting for my fucking life against some molded. There was so much shit happening at once, but eventually I got past them and headed to the safe room. When I get there, I heal up, save, and then scavenge a few more bits before jumping into the fat fuck fight, and this was really difficult. They're just so fast, you really have to respect the distance because he can hit you from a mile away. But for this fight, I'd say just try to knock one out early, be really aggressive at first, and then back off a little for the second one, and he should fall soon after, provided you have the ammo. I died a lot, so this was the only strategy I found that really worked for me. Once the big cunts fall, I enter the elevator and ride it to the second floor. This is where we get the code to open the door from earlier. Once we go back downstairs, I empty my inventory, insert the code, and head to face Lucas's challenge for me. This part isn't that difficult, especially when you know what you're doing, so I won't cover much on this, especially since anybody that's played RE7 will remember this bit. Basically, your objective is to put the candle on the cake while it's lit, and there's the long way of doing this, or there's the short way, and we're going to be doing the short way. So we stop the water, relight the candle, and put it on the cake, which causes it to explode, but Ethan's built different, so Lucas has to drop another bomb, which Ethan simply put through a hole in the wall. The fucking J. We then proceed through the hole the bomb made, obtain the head, and find out where he's keeping Mia and Zoe, which isn't far.
Outside that room. Hurry.
Now that would be telling, Ethan. And I don't do spoilers.
Before I go, I grab the map, save, and then get ready to get past an army of molded between us and Mia. I run past all of them to save my ammo, as I had a big fight coming up literally in the next few minutes. I wish I could tell you I got past all these bastards on skill, but unfortunately it was just dumb luck. But I wasn't expecting to survive first try. I was impressed. Once I make it in the room, I loot the place, save, and then head up to free Zoe and Mia, but not before getting ingredients out of the box for the serum. Once free, she makes the serum relatively easy, but I would have thought it would take a lot more, but maybe I'm hating. As soon as we take one of the cures though, the third Jack fight begins and there's no turning back.
Do you hear that?
One of those is mine.
And here we are, the third Jack fight. It was the worst fight in the game for me. I had to learn his whole attack pattern and reshuffle my inventory. For this fight, I think it's really important to conserve ammo, you know, and find a really healthy distance to maintain between you and Jack, otherwise he's just gonna swallow you. Also, I've found that I was running up and down a lot because he'd get up for a second and then pop straight back down when I went down. But there's other times when he stays up there longer, but I think as the fight goes on he gets more aggressive, so that could probably explain that. Your whole objective in this fight is to pop every orange glowing eye and position him to make it easier, but they have a lot of health in this mode, so there's nothing easy about it. Eventually I pop enough eyes to get him to half health, and this means I'm close and I still have a lot of ammo left for the last bit. I was really excited at this point because I was trying to beat him for like 3 hours and I'd always get to the end bit and die because I didn't have the ammo to pop the final eye, it was fucking cracked. Eventually I persevere, making it to the end, wiping the floor with Jack, making me the 3 times champion. But because Jack is a G, he won't quit, so I end up having to use one of the cures on him. After being in the biggest fight of our lives, we have a not so difficult choice to make, but for story purposes, I picked Mia because I needed the other ending. I promise that's the only reason. I'm still out here hating on that bitch. I fucking despise her. We leave Zoe for dead and escape the property. But Evie has other plans. Unfortunately, she ends up kidnapping Ethan and we're forced to play as Mia. We make our way up the boat, experiencing flashbacks along the way until eventually we bump into Evie. This is where we finally learn why May is such a mega cunt. She gives us a tape to watch and it contains the backstory and why Mia and Evie are here. We play through the tape and find out Mia was on a secret mission transporting a bioweapon, which turns out to be Evie. But that didn't end so well for Mia and Alan, R.I.P. Alan, and Evie ends up escaping and wreaking havoc on the ship until eventually she sinks it. But because Jack is such a G, he takes them in after the ship wrecks in the swamps out the back of his home, and we learn that Evie has twisted them into insanity and has done the same to Mia. Once we're out the tape, we get to work and open the safe to get some acid and open up some doors. We then get the machine gun out the captain quarters, fix up the elevator after dealing with some molded, and find Ethan in the basement. Once Ethan is free, Mia does the only G thing in the whole game and pushes us out the room before she starts going mental. We then make our way through the swamp, sort out our inventory, and head down to the salt mine. Once going down the elevator, we enter the salt mines and make our way down to the final chamber, slaughtering molded as we go until we reach the fat fuck fight. And I actually don't have any clips of me fighting these fat bastards. I can't remember exactly why, but I did die an ungodly amount of times. This is the bit where I needed the magnum ammo, so it is possible I did it off camera, but regardless, we make our way up the ladder and into the final safe room and brace for the final fight. After breaking through the wall like the Kool-Aid man, I make my way through the house from the basement we started in, having flashbacks of Mia as well as seeing Evie along the way. Once we deal with all that spooky shit, we corner Evie in the attic and get her addicted to heroin. Cure her. After we get Evie hooked, she turns into a giant mold monster that wants to eat your ass, so we do the reasonable thing, fire every single piece of ammo at this stupid little cunt bag. With this fight, there is literally no strategy. You just unload all your bullets in there until she dies, and it's that simple. I think it took me 2 or 3 tries, but eventually Chris ends up giving me the upgraded Albert and we wipe Evie off the map, completing this challenge, finally. If you enjoyed the video, maybe leave a like, and if anybody has any notes, it would be appreciated. We're always looking to improve on what we do on this channel, so it would be appreciated, as I said. But anyway, I'll see you all next time. I hope you enjoyed. Hello all, welcome to the video. If some of you remember, I did a video about beating RE7 on Madhouse difficulty without using steroids, but today I'll be doing RE8 Village of Shadows new game. If you don't know anything about this difficulty, you might ask what the challenge is. Well, This difficulty is counting on you having New Game Plus weapons and resources. It is not recommended to go through without at least one infinite ammo gun, but for example, to show the scale, I think it takes 2 shots from a fully upgraded sniper to kill 1 Lycan, and that's the first enemy you encounter in the game. To put it lightly, it was fucking brutal. But I'll stop blagging on and I'll get into it. If you enjoy, like the video, maybe sub, but it's up to you. I hope you enjoy. We start the game rejoining Ethan and his little family. We have Mega Cunt and Little Rose. After we get started, it doesn't take long for it to kick off and Chris bursts through the door after hailstorming Maya, which honestly is the best part of the game. No lie. He comes in about 12 deep and honestly needs it for Ethan.
Chris? What the hell?
Sorry, Ethan.
No! What?
Yeah, baby! That's what I've been waiting for!
He kidnaps Ethan and Rose for reasons unknown, but of course things go wrong and they end up crashing the transport we were in, and Ethan wakes up in the cold with Rose nowhere to be seen. Once Ethan gets himself together, we venture off into the night to look for our daughter. We make our way through the snowy woods, passing dead birds on strings and briefly encountering our first Lycan. It doesn't take long to get to the village, and once we're there, we make our way through the first house, looking for things as we go, until we trigger a loud crash upstairs. That was caused by your mom rolling over. When we reach upstairs, we make our way out the hole in the wall towards the main part of the village. This is where things get interesting. The second house, much like the first, is completely empty and destroyed. The only thing of value in this house is the lockpick drawer, but I don't have any yet, obviously. We make our way through the side door, going through the rest of the village and onto the cutscene with the shotgun guy, but not before picking up our trusty survival knife that we're gonna need through the whole fucking game to conserve ammo. Once confronting the villager, he shoots at us, alerting the Lycans to where we are. He gives us our first gun to defend ourselves with, and he immediately gets annihilated. But it doesn't take long for the Lycans to get us as well, but obviously Ethan's built different, so he doesn't get killed. When we turn on the flashlight, we find ourselves under the house surrounded by bodies, having to move one to get past.
Oh shit, I'm sorry.
Eventually the Lycan comes back, takes a chunk out of our hand and yeets us through the wall out into the yard, starting our very first enemy encounter. We have 2 options with this encounter. We either fight this cunt, which I tried to do several times, or we can use the little weasel route and skip it by grabbing the bolt cutters, and guess which one we did.
Why are you running? Why are you running?
After we get past the first Lycan, we go into the next area and have another Lycan encounter, but this one we can't avoid. So after many attempts, eventually I got him, but this took me maybe 20 minutes to half an hour to do, so this mode is fucking ridiculous, it's stupid. But my advice for this bit is be aggressive with your shooting, try and aim for the head as much as possible. When you see him start to get close, put your guard up and punch him back. Every time you punch him back, you want to be getting shots in, because you have a better chance of like stunning him. But if you keep doing that, eventually his head will explode. A little fucking dickhead.
Hello there.
I wish I could tell you that was the worst of it, but believe me, I'd be lying. The Lycan invasion is up next, and I'll struggle for a while on this. I think it's fair to say this is the first hurdle to jump, difficulty wise, and I tried out a lot of different things. I'll go through a list of them. I tried a lot of different stuff on this one, but I settled on the one you're seeing, which is wasting as much time as possible, preventing the barricade in the shotgun house from being broken. And then as soon as I'm ready for that one to break, I'll wait by the flower bags, explode them, and make my way up to the next barricade, and basically just do that up there. So, I did have to jump out and like dodge things and run about to waste a bit more time, but eventually I did get it, and it was fucking glorious, to be honest. When I did jump out though, I mainly stuck to the route from the ladder through the shotgun house, back up to the ladder, and I dipped into that first barricade as well. Even though it didn't last long, but I think on my 4th or 5th time round, it ended. So this bit isn't too bad once you have a strategy, but it's still somewhat difficult. As soon as Ethan takes an arrow to the knee, all the Lycans surround us, but right as the big fella was going for the finishing blow, they are called elsewhere, leaving us to explore the next area. We bandage up our damaged hand, which has been through it by the way. It got cut off in the last game and fucked up in this one. You can't catch a break, but after we do that, we loot all the items we missed and head over to talk to the hag, and she insinuates that Rose might be in the castle and to look there.
Castle bell heralds danger. They're coming.
No, wait, where's Rose?
I see who you are.
After she locks us in, we head through looting buildings as we go and end up in the wheat fields in front of Louise's house. We loot the bottom building, finding gunpowder and the best thing about this game, mines. We then try to sneak through the field, but failed miserably, having to run past them all, including an armoured Lycan, until we bump into Elena and her father. After talking to Elena and her rude dad, we hop the wall and unlock the gate, allowing them both access to the yard. But in my opinion though, we should have booted that old cunt out, the fucking ungrateful bastard.
Took your damn time.
If you want the fucking brawl, come down to Snevic Hospitality, or come out of my house, and I'll break your fucking legs, you little prick!
When we get in the house, we come to learn that there's nobody left in the village besides everybody here, and
From your entire village?
if they're anything like this guy, thank fuck for that, because this guy was a cunt. After he's done with his tantrum, we pray to Mega Cunt, and after, Elena's father starts tweaking out, so we run and escape into the next room. Once there, we quickly find the truck key and use that to try and escape the burning building. But of course, that only half works, and we're forced up to the roof where there must be less oxygen, because Elena decided to become a fucking suicide bomber, the stupid bitch.
God of war. God of pain. Of suffering. Of destruction. I chase redemption that I know I can never deserve.
Before we go to leave, we retrieve the demon crest and bump into Mega Cunt and the hag a little further down.
I see who you are. You are my enemy. My enemy. You are my enemy. I see who you are. You are my enemy. My enemy.
We slot the two crests in and finally make our way to the castle, encountering my favourite character in the game, Heisenberg. He kidnaps us and brings us before the four lords, and they argue over who's gonna get to fuck with us, basically.
Yak, as a man's dick is cut off in the castle, blah, blah, blah.
Heisenberg ends up winning and plays a little death course with us, and we end up beating it, leaving out the exact room he took us from, because we're just fucking incredible. Once unlocking the gate, we continue on through, encountering the game's merchant, the Duke, before heading into Castle Dimitrescu and getting picked up by the three Dimitrescu sisters. They drag us in front of their mother and present us as fresh prey, but they didn't know how freaky their mother could get.
Well, Ethan Winter.
We get hung with hooks to the ceiling while Lady D tries to contact Miranda, but of course Ethan escapes, crawling through the fireplace, and obtains the item we need to start the first sister fight. Before we go up, I look around looting some items and smashing some pots, find Duke, and then separate the eye from the ring before plugging it into the door and starting the first sister encounter. She forces us down into the basement full of enemies, just waiting to tickle our nuts, and we loot as much as possible while trying to avoid the enemies and eventually make it to the fight. Now, this is probably, in my opinion, the hardest sister that you fight, because there's nowhere to run. She's got 2 minions with her and they do massive damage as well. It's a 2-shot kill from her. I only ended up winning this fight because she got trapped in a table. And that was like 20 deaths in, and I thanked God for that, to be honest with you. After collecting crystal number 1, we pick up the wine bottle and place it in the holster in the wine room, which then allows us access to the courtyard. We pick up the courtyard key and make our way over, dodging one of the sisters in the process, unlock the door and make our way over to Lady D's chamber, having to do a puzzle and trend through an actual pond of blood, keeping out the way of enemies and making it to the elevator, witnessing Lady D's phone call with Miranda. But I skipped it while re-recording because I'm an idiot. So we pick up Dimitrescu's key, only to be surprised by her as we go to leave, and she double DTs us through the floor, and thinking we escape, I try to open the exit out, only to have Ethan's other hand sliced off by Dimitrescu, surprising us. After retrieving Ethan's hand, we wait for the gate to unlock while running away from Dimitrescu and eventually make it to the elevator and the first mask. After Ethan's done clicking himself together, we quickly make our way back up to Lady D's chamber to pick up a lipstick before heading over to the second sister fight area. Once there, we pick up various items, but the most important is the key to the door on the right as we come up the stairs. That is where the next fight is.
Hi, how are you?
Before heading in though, we go back and visit Duke to save and try and get some more
Type
ammo
shit.
and supplies because we're gonna need them.
No sign of Rose.
And we also do the ball puzzle to get more money, obviously. I decided to do the third sister fight first to try and save some ammo for the last fight, because I had to come back and redo all this when we got to Dimitrescu because I didn't have enough and it wasn't fun in the fucking slightest. But this fight is a lot easier than the first because you have a lot more to maneuver around. You basically just keep running in circles, listening for certain audio cues, and once you hear them you turn around and get a couple shots off. I'd say the key to this fight is patience, because you could be running for a while, like a long time before she lets off one of those screams she does. So just keep patience, don't be too greedy, and eventually the bitch will fucking die.
Get away! You're my prey, Mama!
After she finishes crumbling away, we take our second crystal sister and finish looting items around the castle that I didn't pick up, like treasure pieces and some ammo. But after we finish up doing that, we head off to fight number 3, but not before stopping at Duke to save, sell and resupply. Now, this fight is comically easy. You don't even have to move for the most of it, but I'd still recommend you bring as much ammo as you can. But all you have to do is keep opening the ceiling with the lever, and between resetting it you pop as many shots into as you can, and just keep repeating that process, and eventually the bitch will join her sisters, the flippin' cunt. After finally claiming the last crystal sister, we do a final sweep of the castle, save, and then put the masks on their rightful podiums, moving on to Lady D herself, which was for me personally was the hardest fight in the game due to limited resources and my lack of conservation of heals and ammo and most other stuff, to be honest, which I definitely learned from, like. But after we pick up the last mask, we put them all on the podiums, open the door, and head into the fight with Lady D. Now, buckle up, cunts, cause this is gonna be a long fight. Lady D normally isn't too bad, but on this difficulty she is pretty hard. But for this fight, all you have to do is keep getting damage in. It's very important to just keep attacking so you can get through it faster. Part of the reason why I struggled so much was because I totally forgot how to do this fight, and it made it 10 times harder. But there's not much I can say, just keep getting as much damage in as possible, and eventually you'll move on to the second part of the fight, where you and Lady D fight at the top of the tower, where we take the victory, but she almost takes us out as well. But, like I say, if you know what you're doing, and you've got enough ammo and patience, this fight should be easy. I just struggled so much because I'm an idiot that didn't conserve ammo or heals, because I didn't know what I was in for. As Lady D dies, she drags us down with her, taking us out of the castle and making the area inaccessible for the rest of the game. After obtaining Lady D's crystal and dancing on that bitch, we pick up a yellow vial and a key from the hag before making our way back to Duke, where he informs us that Rose has been split into 4 flasks that we need to obtain. But first, he points us toward the house with the red chimney.
There you are. I had a feeling you would pop up here. You have your daughter right in your own hands. There's a house with a red chimney on the western side of the village. Go and seek out the man who lives there. David?
After dealing with a whole bullshit herd of lichens, we get to the red chimney house and find an attachment for the key we just picked up. This allows us to access the next area and fight Angie, the ugly ass doll. After unlocking the gate, we make our way through the estate, hallucinating and seeing Mia as we go. We follow the hallucination down to a red door, and once passing through, we get into the elevator leading directly to the dollhouse.
What's going on?
Once inside, we head straight for the back as there isn't any items to loot in this area. We go down the elevator, eventually reaching the back room where Angie is sitting on a chair waiting for us with our rose vial. But, of course, it's never that easy, and she puts us in darkness and strips us of our weapons, forcing us to solve the dummy puzzle. But the first step is at the left knee. It had the winding key, and you can take the wedding ring off, but it isn't really necessary. Step 2 is opening the door and doing the music box. The code for the door is 052911. And for the music box, the only thing I can say that helped me was follow the scratches on them, try to line them up. Step 3, using the tweezers out of the music box to obtain the film, and putting that in the correct order. And finally, step 4, we use the scissors to gain access to the chest area and pick up the puzzle door piece and immediately open it up, obtaining the key to the breaker box, which we need to get another door puzzle piece and retrieve the fuse and make it back to the elevator. This can be confusing as shit for your first time doing it, so I recommend looking up a guide, or if you like figuring stuff out, spend as much time as needed. I certainly took my time with this bit, so I wouldn't blame you.
Yeah, boy!
After making it upstairs, the hard bit is over. but we're not done. On the way out, we're confronted by Donna, the one controlling the doll, and we have to play a game of hide and seek with Angie, having to find her 3 times before finishing her off for good.
We'll make things right.
After Donna crumbles away, we collect various items, including a key upgrade, and make our way back through the estate, picking up the Magnum and the ball for the ball puzzle, before making our way to Duke again. Once we reach Duke, we do a fuck ton of upgrading before having to deal with the massive werewolf lycans. I had to stab them both to death to conserve my ammo. I used a little bit of ammo on the second to speed it up a bit because the first took 15-20 fucking minutes to kill. But eventually we did it, and we waste no time heading straight into the Third Lord's area, Moreau. We proceed into the swampy river that Moreau rules over, travelling down and briefly encountering him before picking up our 3rd flask and escaping Moreau's trap using the boat to cross over to the windmill.
I'll just be taking this.
Wait, just a little longer, please. It's all over. I plugged the way in.
What are you? Damn freak!
Before using the boat though, we need to get the key from a lichen-infested dock. Once acquired, we bump into more lichens before getting into the boat.
Hey! What was that?
When we dock the boat, we briefly encounter Chris and his team. Ethan wants answers, but Chris tells him to mind his own business and get the hell out of here, not giving him any context behind murdering Megacunt.
You stay out of our business, Ethan. What business?
We escape Moreau again and move on to the puzzly bit of this area, which isn't hard even on this mode, so it didn't take us long. For this area, your whole goal is to turn on the power by finding the windmill crank and solving the puzzle beside the lever. We have to knock down debris to walk on and wade over floating platforms while trying to avoid Moreau, Killer Croc style. This bit isn't too interesting, so I'll try and put focus more on the fight itself. Once pushing the second cart down, we raise up the boat and make it to the second windmill, acquiring the crank and ziplining back over to the first windmill.
Come here, boy!
Once solving the puzzle and draining the water, we follow Moreau down to his arena, picking up the better mag for the pistol before hopping in to take him on. I had to re-record this boss and onward till Urias, the big hammer lichen, so if you see me using infinite ammo, it's because I couldn't find it. Anyway, for this fight, I started off by placing 2 mines at the cross section, having him explode that, and then once he burst through the wall, I shot the barrel and that knocked him, allowing me to get damage in. After that, I had him follow me and jam himself into a section of the map so he could only attack and not move forward. And I just kept that going. Occasionally he'd slip through and blow it up, or manage to slip on the pole and hit us. Or he moved to go rain acid, but for the most part it was easy. And eventually the big Ogre falls and we dance on his grave. After picking up Crystal Moreau and the next key upgrade, we briefly talk to Heisenberg, and he encourages us to go to the stronghold outside the village to try and take his flask, telling us if we can do so, we pass. He then tells us to head for the graveyard first and to work it out from there.
The village. Go there and get my flask. Do that, and you pass. First, head back to the graveyard.
Once at the graveyard, we see it's been littered in messages from Heisenberg, enticing us into the next area, where we deal with hordes of lichens while we unlock the big gates with the 2 levers, and running through their den after dealing with Urias at the end. When we come back to Duke, we slot all 4 of the flasks into the middle and pick up the giant chalice, inserting it into the top altar, raising the bridge over to Heisenberg's factory and preventing me from coming back to the village.
Ethan Winters. Welcome.
Once reaching the factory, we go down to the basement and find Heisenberg waiting for us. He proposes Ethan a deal. He wants to use Rose to destroy Miranda and break free, and he wants us to help him do it. Obviously, Ethan tells him to fuck off, and he drops us down a hole, leading to our first encounter with Strum.
It's a test to see if you're strong enough to be a part of Miranda's family.
My daughter is not a weapon. Fuck you! I'll take my chances.
You're futile.
Once escaping Helicopter Boy, we make our way up to Duke to save and buy some supplies. The way Heisenberg's factory works is you have to clear a floor level and unlock the elevator, giving you access to that floor. There's only 3 floors, and the first one is the hardest since we have to collect all the molds while being gangbanged by cyborgs, but to be honest, all the floors are filled with these motherfuckers, so it made it a lot harder to maneuver around without dying and getting sent back, but with perseverance we managed to get both molds and move on to the next floor. And to be honest, if you know where everything is and you know what you're doing, this should be easy, but I still died a bunch of times, so it doesn't really matter. Once we make it back to the button, we head through the door and walk down to the light door, trying to avoid the drill head, and enter it, encountering Propeller Pete once again. After escaping a second time, we open the elevator, save, and waste no time heading into floor 2. On this floor, we encounter a massive wind turbine on the ceiling. We need to shoot the lights out and stop it so we can get past without getting absolutely screwed in the process by the big Cybermen.
Yeah, boy.
After we reach the top, we find the ball mold and another wind turbine, but this one sucks us in, forcing us to kill that one as well. If we follow the roadway down, there's a pipe we can use to get across to the hatch. We take an elevator up and acquire the last mode we need, and it's for a key to enter into Sturm's fight.
You're the only one who doesn't see your kid's power.
There's more.
You really are a tough one. I'm tired of chit-chat. Time to die.
Now, this cunt might look intimidating, but he really is a piece of piss. All you have to do is move out the way when he charges and shoot at his vent on his back. He'll be in his first mode a while. Just try to be patient, because you're going for accuracy over quantity, but eventually you'll make it to phase 2 and start spitting fire at you and running randomly at you. But this is pretty easy to avoid as well, so as long as you're quick. Also, as he's doing his flame breath attack, you can, if you're quick enough, you can fucking run behind him, get a few shots in. It really does make a difference, like, so just do what you can. You know, I was using these metal grates as shields because you can't run through them, so I'd recommend you trying that. After collecting Peter's crystal, we make our way further in and find the exit, but right as we were escaping, Heisenberg grabs us, flinging us into the abyss below, telling us not to come back. And of course, Ethan survives, even bumping into Chris again, where they share a friendly greeting. I swear Chris must show love by doing everybody in, because you hardly see him interacting with Ethan where he's not hitting him. But while down there, Ethan finally finds out why Chris murdered Megacunt, and we come to learn that Miranda is some sort of bioweapon that has been doing experiments on the mold, and all the Lycans, enemies, and the Four Lords are just results / failures of that. Once finishing talking to Chris, we look around and then enter the tank, going up the elevator towards Heisenberg's boss arena. And I'm saying right now, this is my favourite fight in the game. In my opinion, it was the most balanced on this difficulty. At least that's what it's felt like. But once we blow up the elevator door, we head into the fight. I'm going to say there's 3 key things for this fight. Persistence. You just need to keep attacking. Don't let him breathe even for a second. Keep shooting at the red lights and try not to flinch back. I'd say the second thing is distance. As soon as he gets close to you, you should be trying to knock him back with the cannon and switching back to your machine guns to kill one of the lights to stun him again. The last thing is a fuck ton of grenade launcher ammo for when he knocks you off the tank close to the end. As long as you're mindful of these things, I don't think you'll have a problem. I got it within like 5 or 6 tries, so it wasn't too hard. I found Dimitrescu a lot harder than this. Nah, but to me, Heisenberg's a tragic character, to be honest. Miranda just took him against his will. Forced experiments on him that twisted him in the sanity department and turned him into a hateful monster fueled on vengeance. Yeah, Miranda's just out here fucking ruining lives in the fucking name of getting her daughter back, the stupid bitch. But after using all my launch ammo, I switched over to the sniper, and it didn't take long to end the fight after that, exploding Heisenberg for the last time and winning the fight. Once finished, we don't have long to celebrate as Miranda immediately appears after picking up his crystal, taunting us before ripping out Ethan's heart, doing some Aztec blood-bathed shit.
Fuck you, you crazy bitch! Come on and face me!
You will join the Megamycetes records. Bound for eternity in blood.
We switch over to Chris, assuming my boy's dead, but spoiler alert, Ethan's built different. That's what I've been trying to tell you motherfuckers since the last video and this video. We speedily get through Chris's area, taking out a fuck ton of Lycans, a big mold tree fort, and fight Urasa's brother, aka the other hammer guy, and eventually stumbling upon the real Megacunt, shifting our POV back to my boy Ethan.
And 2 explosives on it.
You don't understand how special he is.
We wake up in the fog, not knowing what the fuck is going on, only to have Evelyn taunting us out of reach. She then drops the twist that Miranda wasn't the one that killed Ethan, and he in fact died 3 years ago in Louisiana due to Jack Baker murdering him. Ethan decides that dead or not, he still has to save Rose, and ends up waking up in the Duke's carriage on our way to fuck up Miranda.
And I'm already on the way.
Thank you. I owe you one.
We buy some supplies from Duke for the last time before heading up the hill to save our daughter and kill Miranda. For this fight, I didn't really have a strategy per se. I just had a fuck ton of pipe bombs, mines and launcher ammo, so I really just went all out and chucked everything I had at her. The spider mode, I tried to dodge more than attack. Same with the bird mode. When it all goes black, I placed like 5 mines at my feet for when she rushes us, but it made it a lot faster, that section, actually placing the mines down, so I'd recommend you do that. But that's about all the advice I have. Just use a lot of explosives, make sure you upgrade all your weapons to at least close to full, and you should be alright. But once Miranda starts to crumble, we pick Rose out of the ash and Chris helps us to our feet, carrying us out. We then look back to see the big fuck off Mega Mycete, and Ethan stays behind to blow that bitch up, saving Rose and Chris and putting an end to the mold. If you enjoyed this video, please leave me a like or a comment on what you want to see next. I'd appreciate it. Thank you for watching. I'll see you next time.
There's a bomb in that thing that'll blow this whole village sky high. Hey, look at me. When I hit this trigger, we can't be anywhere near it. Keep Rose safe. Hey, hey. Hey. Goodbye, Rosemary.